Nice Kyo here. So we're here with another episode of the Bingo Book series. And today's focus is going to be Kurama Link Mode Minato. It's been a while since I've done the Bingo Book series, so we are going to be doing things a little bit differently. You'll notice I'll be using transitions instead of loading screens now. I'm hoping that that will actually shorten the episodes. I will also not be utilizing the multi-character showcase. That's actually going to go in another shorter video, just so this is a little bit shorter and more new player friendly. That being said, we will get into it. We'll start by looking at Minato's kit. So here's our Minato who we're going to be looking at. We'll first start with his 4-star, or actually we'll start with his ultimate. His ultimate is Sage Jutsu, Giant Rasengan, Shadow, and Light. You can tell by the green icon here, this is a release type jutsu. At level 3, this has a 60-second cooldown. It's going to cause massive damage with a Giant Rasengan, inflicting seal. That effect is large. It's also going to decrease the enemy's attack power and defense by a large effect. It's going to increase the attack power, defense, and critical hit rate of allies on the same floor. That's also a large effect. And at Jutsu level 8 is going to add the effect recovers the user's CP for a period of time. So as you can see, this ultimate is actually quite good. If we go to check by level, we can look how that cooldown goes. At level 1 has a 66-second cooldown. You can tell this is the seal icon. A large seal lasts for 15 seconds. This is the defense debuff icon. A large defense debuff is 85% of a defense debuff. That's also going to last for 15 seconds. And then lastly, the attack debuff icon, also 85% debuff, and that's going to last for 15 seconds. Per level, the CD does go down. You'll see at level 8 we have a 45-second cooldown, and then you'll also get that CP regen time. Unfortunately, I don't know the length of time for the CP regen as I don't have a level 8 ultimate, but the standard for most regen effects tend to be around 30 seconds. Alright, so next we'll talk about his 4-star. So his 4-star is the Ninetails Whirlwind Strike. You can tell by the yellow icon here, this is an impact type jutsu. At level 8, this has a 5-second cooldown, and it's going to attack with Ninetails Chakra, causing damage to the enemies, decreasing their defense by a small effect, recovers HP for a period of time for all allies on the same floor. At level 8, the small is going to change to a medium effect, and the HP recover amount increases. So typically, HP regen is a 5% effect. It's the same effect as damage over time in reverse. But with this level 8, this regen effect actually goes up to 10%. So you're going to recover 10% per tick, and then we get that medium defense debuff at level 8. You can see that here. Levels 1 through 7, that small defense debuff is going to last for 8 seconds. It's going to debuff by 65%. But at level 8, it's going to last for 11 seconds and debuff by 75%. So next we have his Divebomb Rasengan. You can tell by the red icon here, this is a lunge type jutsu. Level 6, this also has a 4-second cooldown. It's going to strike the ground with a Rasengan, causing damage, inflicting confusion, and slow movement. Those are both small effects. And then it's also going to set off traps. The range for this is actually quite large. If we go by the check by level, you can see the length and the effect of the confusion and the slow effect. So this is the confusion icon, and a small confusion lasts for 5 seconds. And then this is the slow debuff icon. It's going to debuff speed by 60%, and that's going to last for 7.5 seconds. Lastly, we have his Flying Raijin Combo level. You can tell by the dark blue or purple icon here, this is an annihilation type jutsu. At level 6, it has a 4-second cooldown, and it's going to throw kunais attached with a paper bomb, causing damage to surroundings. Also inflicts damage over time, effect small, and increases the user's movement speed and evasion, effect also small. So again, check by level. This pretty much tells you everything you can know about the debuffs. You'll see here, this is the heart with the kind of slash through it. That's the debuff, or the damage over time debuff effect icon. And that debuff is going to tick for 5% and last for 15 seconds. So that's it for his kit. Next we'll talk about loadout order. So for the next part of the video, we're going to do we're not going to do the multi-character showcase. We're going to do 2 long range and close range examples for his kit. In my opinion, this is his ideal kit. So we'll start with first we'll do the 4-star Divebomb Rasengan, and then Flying Raijin, and then we'll switch. We'll talk about those in depth as we switch. So we'll just get into the long range and close range examples. Okay, before we start, I just want to kind of set the ground rules, because like I said, I'm doing things a little bit differently. previously we did 2 long range examples from here, and then we did the close range examples by running up close. But we'll be changing that up a little bit. Our long range spawns will still start from this location, but our close range spawns will now start from this spot, just to kind of simulate an actual close range spawn as if you're running in the room. That being said, we will always, for these showcases, we'll be using NxB, and pretty much we'll be showcasing, how to spawn him doing long range, how his kit works, and then also close range, how his kit works. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so we have NxB. We'll do the long range. So I'm going to spawn him and then immediately run back. Essentially, like, as soon as you spawn him, you're within his range, so you have to run back. Cause see, he starts that. I'm gonna not run in so he avoids dive bombing, and then I am gonna run in so he dive bomb. He actually didn't dive bomb into the seal, so it's actually ideal. I'm not even gonna just beat him down right now because his CP regen, his HP regen is more than the damage I can actually output. So once that runs out, then we're gonna focus on using more damage. But at this point, we're pretty much just buying time. Alright, so that was long range spawn number 1. We'll do number 2 now. So again, same thing. We're gonna spawn him, run out, wait till he runs a little in. We're gonna try stuff the dive bomb here. If we don't get the seal, then we actually still worked out. But now we're going to avoid him until his regen runs out. So it's like 30 seconds. It's worth noting that you can ult him here. I'm just not ulting to kind of like showcase how you do this. It's also a good idea, like before you spawn him in the actual base, to make sure you have space to run, because essentially in this base there aren't any traps. But in normal base you're gonna have traps. You're gonna have to deal with traps while spawning him, while evading him. So you definitely want to make sure you have enough room to run, as his normal attacks are quite good. Alright, so that's it for our long range. Okay, so we are now starting our close range examples. You'll see we have them right here. Essentially, we have 2 options here. We can either try to offset or spawn, or instacast spawn attack him. We're going to try the instacast spawn. I only do this maybe about like 70% of the time, so there's a chance I'll probably die here. But yeah, hopefully I can just show you guys how this works. So you see, yes, it was perfect. We got him before he actually even did this, so we can actually just do straight beatdown today. Alright, so that was one. We're going to try one more time. I normally would try to also do an offset, but offset is really hard with NxB, especially from this close. So we're going to try the instacast spawn again, or the instacast hit again. So we missed this time, and we ended up dead. So yeah, that's sometimes what happens. Alright, so now we've done the load order switch. The dive bomb is in the first slot, Whirlwind Claw is in the second slot, and Kunai is in the third slot. So it's pretty much going to look the same exactly like our first examples, except it's going to be in reverse. He's going to start with the dive bomb and then the 4-star. I think I messed up my combo here, so let's see. That's gonna be bad. Still got it. Alright, so we're gonna do a close range now. For this one, we're just gonna stuff him. I'm not even gonna edit this a little bit. We'll just move him up here. Since we're only doing one. So essentially for this one, I'm just running in and I'm just starting my my body blow. This is one of the reasons why I say he's kind of like really powerful in close range. It's not really advisable to fight him in this kind of fight, to be honest. Because he is a 7-star, he's also has way more attack, way more defense than Neji does. So I'm kind of like rushing through this, but I really shouldn't be. But we still got it. So we'll do one more load order switch. Alright, so we've done another load order switch. This time we have the Flying Raijin Combo first. This is by far his worst loadout. We notice he'll just kind of like run up to me. He won't really do anything else. And it's pretty easy to just seal him. The reason why I'm not actually, I'll actually showcase like the hit. But one of the reasons why I'm not doing that is because he's just very, very dangerous. Essentially, like if you let Minato start, it's very, very hard to stop him. Like so. But yeah, I'll showcase the Flying Raijin. Like he will just run up and Flying Raijin you, and he has to be fairly close to do it. So it's just there's not really much. There's no real good reason to put this in the first slot, unless you're just trying to get his evasion up. And he has to be fairly close to do it like that. But then, like once he does that, then he quickly follows up with that, which is why it's so dangerous. So we're gonna do the close range example now. We won't even exit out. We'll just quickly do this. Because he has to run in, we're just going to hit him with Mountain Crusher and then seal. Alright, so that's it for our close range and long range examples. Next we'll get into the jutsu explanations. Alright, so we're going to talk about now his 4-star, the Ninetails Whirlwind Strike. So the first thing you should know about this jutsu is that it is a true iframe. Second thing is he will use it through walls, and it has a persistent pull effect as I just demonstrated, which means as long as you are caught up in that wind, those little dust clouds, you will be pulled. But the pull range is actually quite a bit larger than the damage range. So you'll see he can still pull me even if he's not damaging me. But once you get into that second set of that dust cloud, we'll just call it dust cloud. Once you get into that second set of dust clouds, that's when the damage starts. So essentially, to avoid the damage rather, you do want to stay in that outer ring, and you want to stay like out near the edge. We'll showcase that one more time. So we'll spawn him. You'll see I'm near that outer edge and I'm safe. I'm still being pulled, but I am safe. So that's one way to dodge it. The other way is you can iframe it. This only does last about 1.5 seconds. So you have an iframe that exceeds 2 seconds, then you're pretty much safe. The other way of avoiding the pull effect is to offset it. So I'll show what offset is. I kind of did that wrong. But I'll actually move also to a character that actually has a decent iframe. We can use Hinata. So see, you want to start this as soon as you actually see the Ninetails comes up. You don't want to do it before because then you won't be able to actually iframe it. You see that? Pretty easy. Then we'll talk about the offset. The offset is essentially where you use a jutsu to offset the pull effect. So if you do this, you won't be pulled into it and you won't actually have to keep running away from it. I'll kind of showcase that really quick. So you'll see I'm using a jutsu, and the jutsu's animation actually overwrites the pull animation. So if he's trying to pull you, or if you're trying to be pulled and you don't think you can run away because you might be slowed, your best bet is to offset it. It's worth noting that offsetting will not prevent you from taking any damage if you're too close. What it will do is prevent you from being knocked down. So essentially offsetting will prevent knockdown, it prevents the pull effect, but you will be defense debuff, you will still take damage, so it is possible to die. So then we'll just do one more thing. You'll notice, like I said, he uses it through walls, he uses it through the barricade. He does kind of have to be facing you or from the side, so that's kind of like your saving grace. You want to be behind him. Next we'll kind of showcase the true iframe aspect. For that we will use NxB. If you're familiar with NxB's Rekit ultimate at all, this does cut through iframes. So this does cut through iframes. So it's an iframe cutter, but you'll notice when I use his ultimate, it actually does not damage him through his iframe. So we'll showcase that. So you'll see he's still alive. So it is a true iframe. And what that means is normally attacks that would pierce iframes cannot pierce those attacks. So that's it for his 4-star. Those are, you can evade it by running away from him, by baiting. You can iframe it by having an iframe that exceeds or meets the 2-second mark. You want to start that iframe as soon as you see him transform into the Ninetails. You don't want to guess on it and do it before. You want to see it as soon as you see a Ninetail spawn. And then lastly, what you can do is you can offset the pull effect. So if you don't have an iframe, you're using a character who can bait him, but you're not sure you can actually get away from the pull, then you're just going to offset it. Alright, so we'll be talking about the 3-star now, the Divebomb Rasengan. The first thing you should know about this is that it's a single hit jutsu that does confusion and slow. It does have knockdown on its attack. I'll kind of showcase that. We'll showcase the single hit aspect first. You'll see like it's a pretty easy iframe. To avoid, you're going to bait it, but you have to be careful because from head on, his range is quite large. Even though he won't target me from this far back, the range extends almost about 8 tiles from head on, which is probably like one of the most dangerous attacks. It's probably on par with Itachi's Yada Mirror in terms of how far it can hit. Yeah, so you definitely want to be careful with that. The best way to deal with this is to iframe it. It's very, very hard to bait, and you're not going to be able to bait it if you are slowed. So you see, the other thing you can do is, as like I said in the other one, if you do want to avoid that knockdown effect, what you can do is offset it. So you'll see like he actually hits me from pretty far away. I'll kind of showcase that offset when you should get knocked down, you're just going to use a jutsu to prevent that. So you'll see I'm not knocked down, so this puts me in a position where I can quickly counterattack. And so that's pretty much it for his 3-star. He'll use it behind walls, he'll use it behind barriers. It does have an 8-tile range from head on, and even on the diagonals or from the side, it does have quite a bit of range. And in some cases, will actually even hit from behind him. I'll just kind of showcase that really quick. The back damage does not extend beyond 1 tile. See, there it is. So it's not directly behind, it's from like diagonal behind. So next we'll talk about the other 3-star. Okay, so for his last 3-star, we have Flying Raijin Combo level. Unlike the other ones, this does not have any significant range to it. You'll notice he does not use this through walls. He won't even use this through the gate. Bring him up here. Come on, Minato. You're supposed to be the one with the highest scores. So he knows he pretty much has to be within 1 tile to hit you with that. So we're going to break this gate for a second after we knock him down. So this is also an iframe. However, it does have some specifications on that iframe. You'll see it's 2 hit. The only part of the iframe is the jump and the immediate dash. If you hit him from mid-range, let's see if I can I'm gonna use someone with a damaging attack to showcase that. I might not be able to hit it in that instant exactly. So for that we'll use Nagato. And this does have a knockdown, so actually we'll do a knockdown effect first. We'll break the gate again. The first thing you'll notice is the initial dash will stun, knock you down, and then the second hit will knock you back. It does apply a damage over time effect, so you'll see, and that usually puts you in really good range for his 4-star follow-up or his Divebomb Rasengan follow-up. So if you get hit with this, it's essentially another death. We'll now showcase the little gap in the iframe. As I said, the iframe is in 2 parts. It's in the first initial part when he starts his dash, and then when he's up in the air. Between the jump in the air, he is vulnerable to being attacked. So you'll see right there, when he dashes through you and he's on the ground, you can actually hit him from that point until he jumps in the air. So this is important to know because he won't be able to dodge attacks that are persistent, like for example Nagato Seal, or damage over time or damage pool effects, or multi-hit ultimate effects. So that's pretty much it for his jutsus, his regular jutsus. We'll talk about his ultimate now. Alright, so we're gonna look at his ultimate. The first thing you'll know about his ultimate is that it will hit through walls, and it does go through barricades. It releases through walls and barricades. However, we're gonna showcase how many hits it has first and the distance on it. Over here, come on, it's not that hard. Where are you running from? So we're gonna get him on low health really quick. And we're gonna take a hit from it. So this should be good enough. First of all, the range is really large, you'll see. And you'll also notice it has 3 hits. Those hits will attack debuff you, defense debuff you, and hit you with a second 15-second seal. As you notice, he pretty much just normal attacked me for 11,000 damage. As a note, my 7th Hokage has a ridiculous amount of defense. He has 18,000 defense, and after the debuff, I got attacked for 11,000 damage. It does also give him a critical attack and defense buff for Minato. So if he doesn't even kill you with his ultimate, the damage after that is pretty intense. Essentially, like, he will be able to normal attack you to death at that point. But we'll showcase the wall. So for that, I need a character who can hit him through walls with some damage over time. We'll use Sasuke. So you should be low enough now. Don't die. So after the sea wears off, you'll notice he uses his ultimate. He uses it from pretty far back too. Like I said, it does have quite a bit of range. Let's see if he's still sealed. So he's not sealed, and you'll see, like, that's pretty large. The good thing about this ultimate is for him it is stationary. It just covers a large amount of the frontal area. That being said, we're gonna just kind of showcase Neji really quick. It cannot be single iframe, so you can't set up an iframe counter because the additional hits after that will kill you. That barely did anything. This might take all day with Neji. Who else has a counter and has a lot of attack? Oh, you know, because of that, we can just bring him over here. Granted, I still have to, I don't need to counter him to do this. So you'll see the second hit follows up almost immediately. So you can't really counter this with a fast counter such as Neji, or we can try Edo Minato. Jubito and Edo Minato might actually be exceptions to this, as they have quite long counter animations. We can test them really quick, and then we'll showcase the best way to dodge it is to teleport through him or use a forward movement skill through him. Fortunately, Jubito has both. He has the oh, I don't have him with the iframe, so we just have the forward movement skill. So we'll. Oh, we're gonna bring him over here though, so he doesn't actually have space to move through him. So you see, just like that, pretty easy the movement forward skills. So we're gonna switch him over to an iframe really quick, his counter iframe. That should be. Why do we have so many jutsus? I'll take off. Oh, we can take off on this one. And it's that one. Yeah, jutsu. Okay. So he actually can counter iframe, as you saw. The ones with the longer animations tend to do better with these things. You can test Edo Minato really quick. Just because I want to be really thorough about this. I'm not going to be able to test all the counters, but as you can see, characters with sufficient. If you have a forward movement skill, you can teleport through him. If you have the iframe, the long counter iframe, you can typically use that as well. But mostly, like, what you're going to want to do is move through him. You can actually also move around him if you are fast enough. That's a little bit harder. So we should have it here. Kind of messed that up. But I do have my speed buff now. But to move through him or around him, we're going to have to be fairly close. So you see? Oh, well. No, you can't move around him. The tracking is actually pretty decent on this. So you would have to just teleport through him. We'll now test the counter. I just want to be really thorough about this. This is actually like the longest part of the video. So you'll also see Edo Minato can use the counter as well. It's just not good for characters like Neji who have quick counters. So this is pretty much the end of the video. At this point, normally I would get into the multi-character showcase, but I am trying to make this video a little bit faster. I think we might be under 25 minutes. The way I did this is I recorded this in sections, so I can just piece those sections together. If this ends up being better than the previous bingo books, or how it's done before, please let me know which one you guys prefer, which one everyone prefers, because I do want to make this a little easier for viewing. The multi-character showcase won't be included in the bingo book anymore. I'll actually be recording a follow-up to the bingo book series. In that case, I will pick 10 characters. Well, I'll pick 10 characters this time. Next time, I'll pick 5 characters, and then I'll let everyone else, pick 5 additional characters that I have full kits for, and I'll showcase how to take down a bingo book character with those characters. So yeah, if you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know, if there's anything you want to see, anything else I can do for this series. I do want to be very thorough with this. But yeah, again, I appreciate everyone's support. Someone made a post on Reddit like a few days ago. It was very, very heartwarming. I really appreciate that. I'm glad like people are finding my content useful and I am helping people. So that's it for Bingo Book episode 14, KLM Minato. And I'll see you guys later. Demon Eyes Kyo out.